During the last 2 years, asset managers have experienced volatility in their portfolios higher than most thought possible. I'm here with Boryana Interview, President of Finanalytica, a provider of fat-tailed market risk models used by hedge funds and asset managers. And I'll be asking her about the challenges that practitioners face when trying to implement a fat-tailed approach to risk management. So, Boryana, you and Finanalytica have long advocated the use of fat tails in predicting the risk of extreme events. Is it essentially about just changing the probability distributions on the old models?
Well, it's definitely not. It's much more complex, and the reason is that you enter a completely new framework of models building. And there are a lot of phenomena that change and that needs to be properly taken. Like the autoregression, the volatility clustering, seasonality, all those phenomena should be very well modeled so that then a fat-tailed approach can work well.
So how do you go about building a model that will work both in normal and in extreme events?
It has two components actually. The first one is to clean the underlying data from those effects that I mentioned, the volatility clustering, the autoregression, the seasonality, illiquidity effects, and then after cleaning those effects to apply a fat-tail distribution, which in fact means to add a new variable, and this variable is what we call market timing.
Look, tell us a bit more about this idea about market time, because it is quite difficult to grasp. Can you explain it to me?
Well, market timing is this idea that markets operate under different time, not under our physical time, and this market timing is controlled by the speed and the importance of the news that arrive on the market. So when there are no news on the market time evolves slower compared to our physical time. What that means for the returns of the assets is that we observe higher number of very small returns. But just on opposite, when there are important and intensive news on the market, the returns of the assets become larger, and that contributes to the so-called fat tail of the asset returns.
This is tough, isn't it? These are complicated issues. It's not easy.
Yes, it is tough, and no one should underestimate it. That is why we've invested more than 20 years of research and 10 years of development to make sure we deliver something that is sound, that is practical and reliable to practitioners.
Thank you very much, Boryana. It's easy to see that fat-tailed models provide an answer, but clearly it's a lot harder to implement them in practice. This interview is part of a series looking at what the last 2 years have taught us about predicting extreme events. In the next edition, we'll be discussing what options the vendors of risk management models have offered their clients.